Rahim Maya sits at a street corner in the heart of the city. He's an old tea seller, nearly 50 years old. His small shop is just bamboo fences and a tin roof. Yet, every day from morning till night, many people flock to his shop. It has become a place where people share stories, laughter, and sorrows over a cup of tea. But a fear constantly gnaws at him. Will police officer Robiel come today asking for money again? Robiel was the in charge of a local police station. His duty was to uphold the law, but everyone knew his true identity: extortionist, a tyrant. Robiel's nature was to intimidate. He would go to small business owners and threaten them. Give me money, or I'll shut down your shop. Let's see if you have your papers. If I take you to the station, your business won't survive. People would pay out of fear. No one dared to protest. Once, a young fruit seller in the city protested, and Robiel publicly beat him, bloodying his throat in broad daylight. After that, no one dared to say anything. That morning, Rahim Maya was counting teacups with trembling hands. Suddenly, he saw the black police car approaching. As the car stopped, people's hearts pounded. Several people hastily began to pack up their shops. Children clutched their mothers' saris. Robiel stepped out of the car. The sound of his footsteps alone made the surrounding business owners tremble. Robiel walked straight up to Rahim Maya. "Hey, old man, is the money ready?" Rahim Maya said in a timid voice, "Sir, the price of tea has gone up in the market. I'm struggling this month. Give me some time, sir." Robiel roared, "Hey, old man, time? You don't respect the law. You're standing in front of me. You have a lot of guts." With a jerk, he kicked over the tea kettle placed in front of Rahim Maya's shop. Hot tea spilled onto the ground, and several customers retreated in panic. Rahim Maya trembled and wept. Such incidents were not new in the city. They happened daily, but people only watched. No one protested, because everyone knew that if they said something to the police, they might find drugs planted in their homes at night, leading to a false case, or be thrown into jail on false charges. The city was slowly falling silent. Fear had seeped into everyone's blood. But no one knew that outside the city, in a nearby village, lived a brave young woman who would soon stand against this tyranny. She was no ordinary girl. She was an elected member of parliament, MP Mahinur Sultana. People knew Sultana for her determination and courage. She always stood by the side of the poor and distressed. Her father was a school teacher, honest, righteous, and extremely hardworking. Her mother was a housewife, but she always came forward to help the helpless people of the village. Growing up in this environment, Sultana learned that standing by people's side is life's greatest responsibility. The distressing news from the city was slowly reaching her ears. One morning, she had gone to visit children at the village primary school when several businessmen from the neighboring city rushed to her, their faces filled with panic, their bodies sweating. "Oh, save us!" one cried with a tearful voice. Sultana asked in surprise, "What happened?" They began to tell the story of police officer Robiel's tyranny, how he extorted money from small shopkeepers, and how he would beat and bloody anyone who protested. An old hawker cried, "Sister, we earn a few hundred taka a day with great difficulty, and he takes that money too. If we don't give it, he breaks our shops. Where will we go?" Hearing this, Mahinur's eyes blazed with anger. Her fists clenched. She said in a firm voice, "No, this cannot continue. The police are supposed to be servants of the people, and if they become tyrants, then as a representative of the people, I am obligated to hold them accountable." That very day, she decided to go to the city and investigate the matter directly. The brave girl inside her awoke again. That night, she wrote in her diary, "When injustice comes in a police uniform, protesting is not just courage but a duty." MP Sultana entered the city wearing a simple salwar kameez. She always wanted to blend in with ordinary people. Her assistant was with her, but she instructed, "No one will know my identity for now. I want to see for myself first." Just then, the black police car was seen approaching from the front. As the car stopped, people's hearts pounded. Several people hastily began to pack up their shops. Children clutched their mothers' saris. Robiel stepped out of the car. His voice was so loud that the people standing nearby suddenly froze. "Hey everyone, get ready. If you don't give money today, your shops won't exist." First, he went to a young fruit seller. "Hey kid, Hand over the money. The young man said in a trembling voice, Sir, sales weren't good today. I'll give it tomorrow morning. Robiel slapped him on the cheek, then kicked over the fruits displayed in front. Oranges, bananas, apples all rolled onto the street. The surrounding people just watched. No one said anything. Fire raged in Sultana's chest. She watched everything, clenching her teeth. Then Robiel moved to Rahim Maya's tea stall. Hey old man, I won't spare you today. Will you give me money or should I break your shop? Rahim Maya cried. Sir, this shop is my only means of livelihood. Please, before he could finish, Robiel overturned the shop table with his stick. Seeing this, Sultana could no longer remain silent. She pushed through the crowd and stepped forward. Stop! Her voice struck like a thunderbolt. Robiel turned around. At first, he was surprised because this girl, though appearing ordinary, had a strange power in her eyes. Who are you? Why are you meddling in my affairs? Robiel roared. Sultana said in a firm voice, I am an ordinary citizen, but also a representative of the people of this city. Are the police for people's protection or for beating them? You are extorting money while wearing a uniform. Is this your duty? Robiel said, MP madam, what I'm doing as a policeman is a lot. If you meddle in my affairs, I'll show you more. You're an MP, your job is in Parliament. There's no need for you to meddle here. This city is mine, and my reign will be here. No one can do anything. Sultana interrupted him. Be quiet. I will not allow you to oppress in the name of rules. From today, no shop in this city will tremble in fear of you. Remember, if the police become enemies of the people, then the people's representatives will punish them. The people stood dumbfounded. It was as if the fear accumulated over years had shattered, and they were seeing the light of hope for the first time. But Robiel was not one to give up easily. The old fire burned in his eyes. He said through clenched teeth, Madam, this city is under my control. You alone can't do anything. Sultana smiled and said, You're mistaken, Mr. Robiel. I am not alone. I have every single person in this city with me. Robiel said, Do what you can. I'll keep the city under my control. And he left. Sultana understood that Robiel's connections went very high. That's why he dared to show such courage. To save the city from Robiel, she needed to find strong evidence against him. For 3 days, Sultana roamed the city. She saw that almost every small business owner trembled in fear of Robiel. Some quietly closed their shops, while others secretly moved their goods at night so the police couldn't loot them. To gather evidence, she took a few trusted young people with her. One was a student, another a businessman, and one a journalist. Sultana said, We will not be afraid of anyone. Each of you will keep an eye on what's happening. Collect any videos, photos, or documents of police brutality, anything you can find. The very next night, they got their first success. At a fruit shop on a city corner, police came asking for money. The shopkeeper, trembling, gave them some money. Robiel's men counted the money and left, laughing. A student secretly filmed this entire incident on his mobile camera. The video clearly showed Robiel's men in police uniform taking money from the businessman. Meanwhile, the young journalist also began investigating inside the police station. He learned that Robiel kept a daily ledger of extortion, detailing how much money was taken from each shop. Hearing this news, Sultana's eyes gleamed. She said, If we get our hands on that ledger, Robiel won't survive. But the problem was that the ledger was kept in a locked cupboard inside the police station. Sultana sat with her team at night and planned. She said, We are not going to steal. We are just going to bring the truth before the public. For this, we have to take a little risk. The journalist said, I know a plainclothes officer who is fed up with Robiel's actions. If we can convince him, getting the ledger will be easier. A few days later, they had a secret meeting with the officer. He said, I know Robiel is doing wrong, but if I say anything publicly, I'll lose my job. I can bring the ledger out, but my name must never be revealed. Mahinur nodded and said, Don't worry, we won't put anyone in danger. We just need the evidence. The officer agreed. On a stormy night, news came that the ledger had been retrieved. The officer secretly handed it to the journalist. Opening the ledger, they saw page after page detailing how much money had been extorted from each shop, on what date, who gave it, and even how much money went to Robiel and how much was divided. With the evidence in hand, everyone cried with joy. Sultana said, "Now Robiel won't survive. This ledger will become the people's weapon. Survive. This ledger will become the people's weapon." But news quickly spread that the ledger was missing. Robiel was furious. He shouted, "Whoever it is, wherever it is, if this ledger is published, I am finished." Now it's time to silence Sultana. After losing the ledger, Robiel was bewildered. Day after day, the businessmen he had intimidated were now growing brave. Meanwhile, the media also began publishing news about police extortion in the city. Hearing all this, Robiel lost sleep. One night, he called his close associates and said, "If the ledger is published, I am finished. So, before the ledger comes out, Sultana must be silenced. We must restore fear in people's minds." For this, the next night, a terrible incident occurred in a city market. A group of masked men suddenly entered the market and began vandalizing shops. Then they poured petrol and set the shops on fire. In moments, the fire spread everywhere. Screams of "Fire! Fire! Save us!" were heard from all directions. Many businessmen cried helplessly, having lost their life savings. The next morning, Robiel staged a false drama. He went to the media and said, "Look, miscreants have set fire to the market. I am trying to restore peace in the city, but some people are instigating." He implied that Sultana's people had done this. Hearing the news, Sultana rushed to the market. Burnt shops everywhere, black smoke, tears in the eyes of businessmen. An old businessman, trembling, said, "Sister, we've lost everything. This fire is also their work. Now they will blame you." Sultana said through clenched teeth, "No, uncle. This time everyone will know the truth. No matter how many conspiracies they hatch, I will not back down." She secretly handed copies of the video and the ledger to the media. The journalists promised, "We will expose the truth." Robiel's plans were ruined when, one day, a special report was broadcast on a local TV channel. The journalist said, "We have obtained the police's secret ledger, which details how money was collected from every shop." In addition, a video also shows Robiel's men forcibly taking money from a shopkeeper. The video was played on the TV screen. It showed the fruit seller trembling as he handed over money, and the police officers laughing as they left. Then the pages of the extortion ledger were shown. It clearly stated, fruit shop 500 taka, tea shop to 300 taka, cloth shop minus 1,000 taka. Robiel's signature was also at the bottom of everything. People were astonished and speechless. They sat in front of the TV and shouted, "What we thought was true. The police are looting us." The next day, thousands of people gathered on the city streets. They held placards saying, "We want justice for the extortionist Robiel. Let justice prevail." Robiel watched TV and was furious. He slammed the table and shouted, "There's no turning back now. If I lose, I'll fight until the last moment. I'll drown the city in blood." A terrible fire burned in his eyes. That night, in the secret room of the police station, he called some trusted associates and said, "Listen, this city used to fear me. If they lose that fear now, I am finished. So we must instill fear again. Tonight, there will be a big attack. Markets, shops, and even the homes of those who support Sultana will be attacked." Meanwhile, Sultana had already received news of Robiel's plan. An honest police officer secretly informed her, "Madam, there's a plan for an attack tonight. Please be careful." Sultana quickly called a meeting with the people. She said, "Brothers and sisters, they want to shed blood again to scare us. But remember, fear takes away our strength. This time, we will stand together." Businessmen, young people, farmers, everyone agreed. Night fell. Darkness all around. Only people gathered in front of the shops. Some held bamboo sticks, others held clubs. In their eyes, instead of fear, there was the light of courage. Just then, Robiel's thugs arrived. They had bottles of fire and sharp weapons in their hands. They shouted, "Destroy everything." But this time, people were not afraid. Together, everyone shouted, "We will not let our homes be looted anymore." They began to resist with bamboo and clubs. Sultana stood at the forefront, giving courage. "Brothers and sisters, stay together. Don't back down." A fierce clash began, but the unity of the people was so strong that Robiel's men could not hold their ground. In a short while, they dispersed and fled. People cheered with joy. We won. But everyone had one question. Where is Robio? Did he escape, or is he setting another trap? Just then, a police team suddenly arrived. They were led by the honest officer who had earlier given information to Sultana. He stepped forward and announced, "Officer Robio has been arrested. He was caught red-handed trying to escape from the city." People erupted in cheers. Some cried with happiness, others shouted with joy. Several months later, the court delivered its verdict. All the evidence was presented: the ledger of extortion, the videos, the testimonies of witnesses. The judge delivered the verdict in a stern voice. Robio abused his duty and power. He ruined the lives of small business owners. Therefore, he is sentenced to a long prison term. Everyone applauded with joy. That evening, a large gathering was held in the city market. Sultana stood before the people and said, "Brothers and sisters, today we have proven that no matter how powerful injustice is, the unity of the people is stronger. If we stand together, no tyranny can last." Businessmen happily opened their shops. Children played in the streets. The city returned to normal life, friends. There are many such police officers in our cities who oppress people. To save ourselves from them, we also need to take such steps.